We're on this topic of I don't play as well as I practice, and on this week's episode of the Better Golf Academy podcast, Hanju talks about the interplay between the conscious and the subconscious mind. And today I want to take that from the lab to outside, so let's head out there and explore what it actually looks like when you're standing about to hit a golf shot. Okay, so I've done my pre-shot routine. This is a 55-yard pitch. The green is slightly below the elevation right here, so it's going to be about 53 yards, and then I got this branch to deal with, so I either got to hit it over the branch or under the branch. And so I've done all my conscious thinking. I've committed to hitting this ball over that branch. Now it's just a matter of getting my body to execute on the vision that I have in my head. So what do you normally do in this situation? Do you tell yourself like, oh, don't hit the branch, or are you thinking like swing thoughts? This is the precise moment to tap into your subconscious, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So bringing it back to the soup plantation analogy, RIP soup plantation, you've got your soup, you've got your two bowls, you know where your table is, and now it's a matter of getting your feet and your hands to balance everything. And this is where it gets kind of interesting, right? Because you're not thinking about every single movement. You're not thinking like, okay, I'm going to take a step with my left, step with my right, there's a guy coming, I got to dodge to the left or dodge to the right. Like, all of that is happening subconsciously. Your body is just doing what it does best. So that is the power of the subconscious, much like this shot right here, right? I'm not saying like, oh, my wrist needs to be at this specific angle and then I need to turn my shoulders. Like, my body already knows that. And so here's the big question: how do you get your body to execute on what you have in your mind? So I've been reading Dave Pelz's Short Game Bible, and he calls this the pre-shot ritual. I didn't have a name for this. I just knew that before every single shot, I kind of do the same thing, right? I'm standing behind the ball. I take a cleansing breath. That's when I let go. And then I usually go up here. I look at my target. I visualize my ball flight. I do a waggle, and then I do one more with the whole body just to remind myself like I'm taking it one piece, one last look, and then boom, my real shot. So that's my pre-shot ritual. It's visualizing the ball, doing two waggles, and then one last takeaway with the whole body. A couple of keys here is that one, you want to keep it right around 5 seconds, no more than 8, because there's science that shows the longer you stand over the ball, the less likely it is for you to hit a successful golf shot. And then second, you always want to do a pre-shot ritual the same way every single time. You could have 3 different ones, one for a full swing, one for a pitch, and one for a putt. But the point is you want it to be as consistent as possible, because that's your conscious brain telling your subconscious, your body, that it's time to go. It's time for you to take over. Just let it go. So once you know what kind of shot you're hitting, this is a 53-yard shot. I'm going over the branches. I'm committing to that. Then it's a matter of visualizing it in your head, getting your body to just feel it, to visualize it. This is like where your imagination can dictate what you're actually going to do, and then it's just up to your body to execute. Like, that's the cool part, is like I don't really even have to really do much from here on out. Now there is one caveat to this whole thing, which is you do have to practice this, right? You can't just show up and expect this whole thing to work. But the point is, much like conditioning a dog to sit and then get a treat, this is exactly like that. It's like subconscious, okay, practice, okay, hand it over to the subconscious, and then subconscious, you got to have that history of hitting thousands and thousands of balls to know like, okay, yeah, this is a 55-yard shot. All right, enough talking, let's hit some shots. So again, I did all my conscious pre-shot routine. I know I got to fly at 53 yards. I'm going to over this branch right here. That is a 56 wedge for me, the 9 o'clock position right here. Shout out to Dave Pelz. I'm gonna fly it over this branch and yeah, just put a smooth swing on it. There's my cleansing breath. I know how far I can visualize and feel in my body what I need to do. Now it's a matter of just getting lined up. Waggle, waggle. Boom. I see the shot in my head. It's going over that branch. Wow. All right, hit some branches up there, but it's pretty much what I envisioned. Okay, visualize the shot. 53-yard flight over this branch. Boom. It is a 9 o'clock swing here. It's still in the conscious mind, and now I'm going to give it to the subconscious, where I'm just doing my routine, not even thinking. Waggle, That one's pulled a little bit. All right, we'll do one more with the yellow ball. I don't have to do the pre-shot all the time because it's the same exact shot, but it's a 53-yard flight. It's a little long. Woo! That looked close. Woo! It was getting really cold out there. So let's recap. You have your pre-shot routine. You know exactly what you need to do. Your conscious mind already knows. It's 53 yards. It's got to fly over the branch. How do you then handle that control, that energy to the subconscious? Well, you have a pre-shot ritual. That is the transition from this is the stats of the actual shot to the, hey body, this is what you actually got to do to execute on the shot. I want to emphasize two things. One, you got to practice this, right? You got to practice the pre-shot ritual, which is crazy. Normally you think of practice as like, okay, I got to hit 55-yard shots. Well, you've been doing that for a really long time, but it still doesn't translate to the golf course. Why? Because you don't practice your pre-shot ritual. Okay, so practice that pre-shot ritual. For me, it came very natural. I'm guessing that if you've been playing golf for a really long time, there are just things you do. Like one of the things I would encourage you to do is to record yourself on the golf course before you hit shots. What you'll probably find is that you do very similar things, very similar rhythms and motions before you hit the golf shot. So look at that and feel free to use that as a base, as a foundation for your pre-shot ritual. So for me, that's what it looks like, right? I envision the direction that the ball needs to go. I envision the ball flight, and then I do those 2 waggles and then the third and final one before I actually hit the ball. Sometimes the mind tends to drift and say things like, don't XYZ, like don't hit the branch, don't shank it, don't chunk it into the water. And if you want to incorporate not a swing thought, but a thought or a feel, I heard that works too. So some people will, they'll do waggle, waggle, and then they'll just count down in their head like 99, 98, 97, and then they'll just hit when they feel ready. Or, shouting out, I love my grandma's cookies, like that could work too. This is probably when we get into MGT or mental golf types, which is a whole nother series in itself. But for now, I think if you have the awareness that there are 2 distinct parts of a pre-shot routine, one is like the conscious type of where you need to actually hit the golf shot this far and the wind and all of that, and then transitioning over to the pre-shot ritual and to the subconscious mind, then you're primed to drop some scores, especially during tournament pressure. Woo, that was a lot, but I'm glad you stuck around. If you're just starting out, you've got one leg up ahead of your peers because now you know that it's not all about smashing balls at the driving range. You got to actually practice this thing because it's different when pressure is introduced. Or if you've been practicing for a while, but you just can't get that edge, that unlock to the next level where, you hit balls perfectly in practice rounds in the range, but then you just crumble a little bit under pressure. I hope you can implement this too. As we close this video out, I just want to thank you so much for spending your time with Better Golf Academy. And we want to hear from you. If you could head over to bettergolfacademy.com/hello. Come say hi to us. We want this to be a 2-way conversation. Let us know what you're interested in seeing. But yeah, at Better Golf Academy, we want to help you lower your scores without changing a single thing about your swing. If you have anyone that could benefit from this video, whether it be a son, daughter, teammate, please share it with them. Make it a great day, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.